Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be doing Venus conjunct North Node. So the last one I just did was the Moon conjunct North Node. And baby, let me tell you something. I've done some videos on my channel. I don't remember which ones I've done and which ones I have not. So when I get a request, I try to go with it. Venus conjunct North Node. If you go and watch the video that I posted about Moon conjunct North Node, I did some more in-depth explaining of North Node, what the North Node energy is. So I'll try to touch on it here. However, just please take some time and look at some videos. You can go look at people that you had Synastry with, that has those placements or whatever, because I'm pretty sure to drop some information in there that is, also helpful, teachable moments that you can use, in other Synastry aspects, and just for your explanation, like for you to understand things. But on this one, I'm just going to briefly touch on the North Node and how to understand it. The North Node is the energy that we are supposed to be comfortable with in this life, that we're supposed to take on in this particular life. Okay? And yes, and to actually give you a more fulfilled life in alignment with the way that you're supposed to be going, with the way things are supposed to be going. You can see it that the themes of the North Node, if you just take a second to look back in your past, there is running things throughout your life that's connected to the North Node. So to your North Node, and understanding these things can save you a world of anguish and just turmoil. And understand that there are some people that feel more comfortable in their North Node energy because they're embodying energy, that same energy within their other parts of their charts. People that could struggle with it more is with people that have a lot of squares, oppositions to their North Node energy, or just not enough of it in their chart. It could seem very foreign to them. So understand that. Now, North Node with the Venus, okay? When we look at the planet Venus, we're looking at relationships, we're looking at partnerships, we're looking at money, we're looking at fairness, we're looking at attraction, okay? So the things that we attract, how we attract it, what we want to attract, what we find attractive, and how we value those things, all right? It's a lot. It could be a superficial type of value. It could be something deeper and more profound. So understand that is, I think people get caught up in that, not understanding the contacts they're making with other individuals or whatever. And we're all here on our own little learning process and journey. However, when someone's North Node conjuncts another person's Venus, what you're finding here is that there is an attraction. Okay? Depending on the sign would depend on whether it's a deep attraction or if it's a more superficial attraction, but it's the attraction is there. And this is how we bring people into our lives to even initiate relationships. And the want and the desire for a relationship is there. I'm not going to deny that. The attraction is there, and the want and the desire for the relationship is there. However, the Venus person is teaching the nodal person about relationships, okay? About things that it values, about its own value. And the energy that nodal person should be taken on through the theme throughout their relationships. So there's a comfort here because the North Node person automatically feels that the Venus person speaks the type of language in love and relationships that they want to speak, that they want to embody, that they want to exude, that they want to contribute, and that they want to be treated like. The problem is the North Nodal person can be wanting to be treated like their North Node attributes within a relationship and a partnership, but they find it hard to um give that energy back out to people, depending on, because you'll have to understand what a personal, your personal charts and synastry that you have going on with somebody differentiates how this is distributed, how this is playing out. And if you take a Venus person, a North Node person that, let's say you have a North Node in Capricorn, but your sun is in Capricorn, you or their own Venus is in Capricorn, or Mars or whatever, you could find that the nodal person does give out the energy of its nodes and can show up that way to other people, but they don't get that in return. They don't know how to receive it in return. So the Venus person is showing that the reciprocation. Is that reciprocation of it, of what the North Node, how the North Node should practice giving and receiving and different things of that nature. So there's a connection. I do feel like, with the Venus here in the North Node, there's a deep attraction. The attraction, which we know, but I'm just saying, keeps them coming back. Even when let's take Venus in Cancer and the North Node in Cancer. The Node person's in Cancer, the Venus is in Cancer. I'm just using this for an example. There's an emotional attraction. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical. It could be an emotional attraction, because the North Node person is going to feel like the Venus person knows how to comfort them, knows how to provide that for them. And the way that the Venus person responds and interacts to what their emotional cues are, how they want to feel comforted and feel secure, the Venus person automatically has this. But really, if it boils down, if the chart is saying between two people, like, hey, it's best we let each other go and we live our own lives, because now the nodal person has to go out into the world and experiencing these other relationships and experiencing these other people and situations, it can come to the point of where the nodal person wants to run back to the Venus person for shelter, for security, for embracement, for it. This can show or demonstrate like an emotional affair, or an affair of let's say it's Taurus, Venus and Taurus North Node. This could be more of a comfort. It's like, okay, well, this person is, the nodal person can run back to the Venus person. This is where I find my comfort. To say it's Virgo, is some sort of give and take, that responsibilities that they know that the nodal person or the Venus person can help them with, and vice versa. The Venus person feels alive. The Venus person feels attractive. The Venus person feels desired when the nodal person comes and needs partnership from them for whatever way that they can bring them. But the Venus person can also start to feel like they're being used when the nodal person wants to go out and experience more, and the nodal person feels like they do, but they don't. But they keep the Venus person, because the Venus person can start to feel like, okay, well, you act like you're settling for me or something, and not really understand, but at the same time want to hold on to the nodal person, okay? And not understanding, like, okay, well, it's depending on the two people. You have to understand this, because it can be this thing to where they're both having this connection or this attraction and this love for each other, but it's time for them to kind of like go off and let the nodal person experience. And it's like I told the video, and did said in the video, with the moon conjunct the node, the North Node. It's it comes back to this one person, and usually the planet person is feeling like, uh, like, like, is this enough? Am I enough? You know, does this person seem like they want to be elsewhere? Like, and it's not that you're not enough. It's that the North Node is designed for that North Node person or the North Node individual to take on and learn how to embody the traits of whatever they're conjuncting. So with Venus, it's relationship, it's partnership, it's money, it's, attraction. It's because a node person can find themselves, spiffying up and, living a whole different identity or lifestyle when they're coming across a Venus person, but this energy goes back and forth. Like I said, the Venus person could be like, man, like, really, I feel connected to the North Node because the North Node gives me something to live for. It's like the North Node finds me special, important. But it comes a time, and depending on the two people, it can come a time where they go their separate ways in order to live out more experiences, but they don't have to every single time. But there's definitely attraction here. There's definitely this desire to be in relationship with each other. And I feel like the Venus person, knowing that they're to both people have to take when the separation, like if there's separation energy that comes up, both people have to kind of be willing to understand what that is and what that looks like in the release of that. If it's something that they cannot communicate and talk about and resolve, And then a lot of times, if two people decide like, hey, this is where I want my experiences to be, they can pull that off. Don't get me wrong. But with it being the North Node and the North Node being somebody's need to expand outside of their comfort zone into areas that's a little bit more newer to them, they could, anything that they can attach to anything that is conjunct that to show them how to do it so that they can feel supported in doing it. You know what I mean? And depending on the ones that want to retreat, some people can retreat back into that South Node very easy. And it could be like a back and forth thing or not being sure. And it depends on how much the North Node already embodies that type of energy that they have in their North Node within the rest of their chart. Because it's something that they're more familiar with. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same official impact. They can feel comfortable, with the experiences that they're having versus trying to expand in the way of acquiring that knowledge. It's kind of like, okay, well, let's see if I can just do this. Let me see if I can, the mama bird showed me how to act and what I need to do. Let me see if I can fly off and do this, or if they're acting out and they're doing the things opposite of what they're supposed to be doing, that's another thing that can show up, because it's like, I'm trying to fight what it is that they're feeling uncomfortable about, because they can look at the Venus person as, that person that is trying to make them do something that they're not ready to do or be a certain way that they're not ready to be. But I notice a lot of times the nodal person, when the Venus and the nodal person stays together, the nodal person retracts in their comfort zone and they expect the planet person to sustain them. The qualities that they're supposed to be learning and how they're supposed to be living their life. And it's not supposed to work that way, because it defeats the purpose. But there's definitely attraction, there's desire, and all of that keeps them together or keeps them coming back to each other. And, there's great experiences that they could be and memories that they always have of each other in the involvement that they have with each other. But at some point, there's a decision that has to be made. Like, is this something that the relationship can sustain, or do they need to let each other go? All right, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any video requests, please feel free to share what that is, and I shall return.